Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Would you guys like to kick around a few emails?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Do you want a super long one?
Is that the Big Rick one?
Oh, well, he wanted to be anonymous.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
we'll just save that one for another day. Then.
Okay,
That is
okay,
one
well.
of the most horrifying...
First line is about wanting to be anonymous.
Oh, well, it's
Okay,
a disgusting email.
I haven't read it yet.
No, Tom will be disgusted. If you haven't read it?
No,
Oh,
I literally
okay.
just pulled it
That's
off the
why
printer.
I was getting in front of it. You can't read that on ACT. It's not
Oh.
allowed. That is a
Okay,
that's
we'll
a
save that one.
horrifyingly disgusting
well,
email.
let's just say this next email is not from Big Rick. This next disgusting email.
That's
yeah,
super long.
yeah.
This has nothing to do
Nothing
with
to
Big
do
But
with
Rick.
the
Rick.
one he said was disgusting. But you'll never know which one it is because, well, you'll know. The next anonymous email is from Big Rick.
Yeah, if it's disgusting.
If it's disgusting.
All right.
It checks out.
All right. Let me sort through some of these. Hey,
They're all
T&D crew.
disgusting.
They're
They're
all
disgusting emails.
You guys are disgusting. Dear T&D crew, I know how you guys love Steven Seagal. I took
Hold on a second. We love to laugh at Steven Seagal. It's not like we're like, we love him. Russian
don't-
nationalism.
You don't worship
all
the
right.
Seagal?
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
like we think he's a
I love
character.
him.
We think he's funny.
Aw.
I love his path. I mean, I certainly I question some of the decisions he makes, but I do love that he is his own man. He is his own Seagal.
He's the real life Kenny Powers. Just a grumpier version of Kenny
a little more
Powers.
serious Kenny. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
serious Kenny Powers.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, he thinks he's better than he is.
Yeah.
He thinks he's the best at
He
everything.
hangs out
It's
with
like,
unsavory characters. Yeah. You're right.
Kind of like you, Tom.
You're Castleberry Kenny. You're Castleberry Kenny.
Hold on. Steven Seagal thinks he's like the best at all the things.
You think you can do everything in 2 weeks?
You just don't
You
think
said
you're
you could
not
do
the best.
surgery.
No, there is a difference. Steven
I don't
Seagal
think I'm going to
thinks,
do the best at surgery.
but he thinks he can do
Oh.
it. Steven Seagal thinks he's the best at everything. Tom thinks he's not the best at everything.
But he can still do
I could
it.
just get
Good
pa-
enough.
I could
Yeah.
just get
a
past
little bit of everything.
I could do it.
You're a
You'd get a
Renaissance.
passing grade.
Yeah,
Renaissance
like,
man.
Yeah. If you I'll cut the person open and then take out all the black cancer.
Yeah. It's
you
not
know,
going to be pretty, but
yeah.
it'll be.
I'll probably take out too much and then leave too big of a scar, but I'll get it.
Okay, there you go. You heard it from
He'll just
Surgeon
Toss
Tom.
one of your important organs and be like,
Yeah.
you don't need this. You'll be
He's
fine.
been going through this metamorphosis this year of changing who he is. Whether it's the weight
says
loss,
he can't change.
the working. No, but have you noticed that he's been bringing up new character? We got new characters this year. We got Business Tom. We got Angry Tom. We got the Sheik. We got all these different.
You can't
Different
change
sides.
the base of who you are, but you could, tweak
You can
little
scatter
things.
some. You can put some glitter on the top.
Yeah. You can get better at certain things or whatever, but the base, I'll die being bad at life.
The
in
idea
general.
of you scooping out all the black cancer and it was just horrifying. What else?
I took a minute today to watch a Steven Seagal masterpiece, Out for Justice. If you haven't seen Seagal in this flick, you are really missing out on every Italian stereotype that exists. I'm going to sum a few winners for you.
Should I find the trailer?
Sure.
Because they have the old trailers from the 90s.
Seagal's had a rhyming name, Gino Salino. You can't make this stuff
His name
up.
was Gino
Salino.
Salino. That is a great stereotype. This is what makes Italians mad, right? Oh god, they're doing the Gino Salino.
Well, I
again.
think everything makes him mad.
Hey, get him!
Opening scene, he is sitting waiting on a $3 million drug bust, and with his Seagal vision, sees a pimp out of the corner of his eye beating a prostitute.
That was one of my favorite things he did ever. Is the fact that he claims to have some sort of sixth sense.
his visions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that he can.
Well, that was in his reality show.
Yeah,
Right,
but I mean,
right.
it's
Maybe
been-
this is where it started.
It's been a lot in his movies too. You can kind of
Yeah.
tell that he's like, hey, if you guys are looking for a plot point or something that you need to spice up the movie, I have special vision.
Yeah.
Ooh, you do.
Well, he got that from Spider-Man, right? He saw Spider-Man at
Yeah.
one point in his life, and then he's like,
I can do that.
I can-
It's you. It's Tom Van Spider-Man.
He decided to blow the cover of every officer on the sting and jump out of his van to catch the pimp. Once the cops swoop in and the pimp is caught, Seagal then has to prove he's tougher than the pimp and baits him into a fight where Seagal snatches this guy's arm and throws his head into a car window. Somehow Seagal is a cop but had some loose connection to the local New York mob family, so they hit all the Italian and cop
Well,
stereotypes.
he's an anti-hero, right? He was like,
Yeah.
he's the type of cop that cops like because he's got their back, but he's the type of cop that even criminals like because he blurs the lines a little bit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he,
He wants to be a bad boy.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know, like he lets them get away with smoking weed and stuff, but, you know, human trafficking, he draws a line at, you know.
Seagal has a kid snitch on the streets named Piccolino. So it's Gino and Piccolino.
Gino Salino and Piccolino.
What the F? Work together to find the location of the main antagonist of the movie. Halfway through the movie, Seagal sees a guy throw a bag out of a car window. He stops and opens the bag, and it's a goddamn German Shepherd puppy. Later in the movie, he spots the guy who
great.
threw away the dog and gets his justice
They
by
named
beating
it-
the man up and letting the dog pee on him.
I gotta, hold on, here's the trailer.
He also walked around in a black sleeveless deep
hold on.
V shirt and wore a beret.
Yeah, the beret I like. I like the beret. Here's a little bit of the trailer for Out for Justice.
Out for justice.
It's miles from civilization, but just one subway stop from Manhattan,
Hey, you want a party?
Brooklyn. They were friends,
Ever since we was little.
born on these streets.
What's that?
One of us, family. Now, after 15 years,
Who would have ever thought that I would have become a cop, huh?
they will play cops and robbers one more time.
Oh my God, it's horrifying. Gino Salino, what have you done?
So stupid.
I'm gonna have to watch this. It's so good. I'm going back.
Have you ever heard the behind the scenes
God, he's got 6 kids.
stories of Steven Seagal from other actors that have worked with him?
No.
Like that's spread around like the internet. I've seen on the reels or whatever of like who's the guy that did the one man show and he played
Oh,
Mario back in the he was in
John Leguizamo.
yeah, Leguizamo tells a story.
He was Luigi, sir.
Oh,
How dare
Luigi.
you.
Yeah.
Yes,
My memory's working again.
John Leguizamo tells a story.
Leguizamo.
Hey, whatever.
tells a story
John Leguizamo.
about Steven Seagal in remember the airplane movie where there were like it was Steven Seagal. I think he died at the beginning, and it was like a
Yeah,
big
he
deal.
gets sucked out of the plane.
Yeah.
Executive decision.
Yeah, they
Executive
killed him.
decision.
It was a big deal, and everybody
I don't think
spoiled
I've ever
it.
watched one Steven Seagal movie.
Oh,
Well, this one wasn't-
Sam,
th-
you
th-
gotta curl up with your new puppy and take a couple of flicks.
I don't know. It
in.
might terrify her.
She'll love it.
This was
All the explosions.
technically not a Steven Seagal movie
No.
because he died so early.
He was a
but
cameo.
Leguizamo was on the set with him,
Yeah.
and see if you can look up the story he tells because it's hilarious. And look at like John Leguizamo, Steven Seagal. But apparently, Steven Seagal, his whole persona, he acts like that in real life, 100%. Like he's not humble at all. He's not like cool behind the scenes. Like he believes.
Oh, he
he's,
says he hates him. My God,
Yeah,
I didn't know this was really bad. In an interview for Leguizamo's new Amazon show, The Power, this is in 2022, he said when Killian, the interviewer, asked whether Leguizamo might have based his character of a washed-up movie star on himself or taken inspiration from his life, Leguizamo didn't hold back. No, I wouldn't have done it as myself. What, I'm going to spoof myself like a failed actor? Hell no. He said, I wouldn't have done that. I used Steven Seagal because I hate him.
yeah. He says basically Steven Seagal like gets on set and then he's like, I'm in charge now, and he starts to, and then Leguizamo starts laughing.
We did a
'cause he thought it
movie
was a
together.
joke.
It
Yeah.
was executive decision. He's kind of a horrible human. These are all quotes. I'm not. He says, okay. He doesn't really go on to elaborate in this one.
Yeah. If the video of him telling the story is pretty funny, but basically
Says they had a feud that went down on the sets of Executive Decision. Called him a horrible human. He's a washed-up star.
he grabbed Leguizamo and like pushed him up against
Yeah,
the
he
wall
attacked
for,
him, I guess.
for
Okay,
laughing
here
at
he
him.
is. I got the
Oh,
clip
yeah.
you're looking for, I think.
I'm
here.
assuming there's a celebrity rule, like what happens on the set stays on the set. Why do you want to? Why do you engage in this tell-all about some of those people?
Well, I mean, I'm not doing it just to be a gossip, just to do that kind of thing. I mean, I'm hoping that it all adds up and there's a point to it, and that I'm also guilty of some of these conflicts. Because you're an artist. I mean,
Is there anyone you won't talk about because
Here
you
we go.
worry about repercussions?
Here we go.
I mean, I guess the
yeah.
woman.
I mean, of course. I mean, I don't want to hurt people's feelings just for the sake of hurting their feelings. But if they did me harm I felt they did, I feel like I have the right to diss them back.
So what did Steven
Let
Seagal
them do their own
what-
one-man
what-
show against me. Go ahead.
What
I'm
did Steven
fine.
Seagal do to you?
We were in rehearsals for Executive Decision, okay? I'm playing his master sergeant, and we come in for rehearsals, and he comes in, I'm in command. What I say is law. Anybody doesn't agree? And I was like, I started cracking up because he sounded like a retard, and he came up and he
Old Leguizamo.
taekwondo'd my ass against the brick wall. He went, he's 6'5" and caught me off guard, knocked all the air at me. I was like, why? What I really want to say is how big and fat he is, how he runs like a girl.
God damn, he really does hate
Yeah,
him.
that's a real hate. That's
Yeah.
a real hate.
Woo.
I had no idea, dude. I had no idea about this.
Yeah.
So is he promoting a book where he just talks S about other celebrities? Is that what they
This
said?
was in 2022. I guess he did do
Huh.
I don't think it's like a tell-all, but I think, I guess, anything
Kinda
can be a
wanna
tell-all,
listen to this
right?
now.
I think anything can be a tell-all if
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
stories that people don't want out there or if it's your truth,
But like you can imagine a bunch of actors standing around. Steven Seagal comes in and like he's taking it too seriously, and he's like,
I do like that. I do think it's funny. He walks in, he's like, I'm in command now. Anybody talks ass, you got a problem, you could bring it up with me. I like that. That's funny. I don't
the
really...
name the name of this book. It's Pimps, Hoes, Playa Haters, and All the Rest of My Hollywood Friends. My Life.
No, it's too clunky.
The
All those words are dated.
I wonder if Steven Seagal like lets himself be shown in public when he gets real old, where he can't really move very much anymore.
That's got to be coming
No,
up,
no,
right?
he's already been reclusive, I think, because of his weight. I'm just being honest. I think you don't see a lot of him out and about. Also, you see him in very flowy, drapey, like, gowns.
Yeah.
And, like, muumuus kind of stuff because all black, always in black.
Nobody's
Like,
wearing
it
some
does
sort of like
bother him.
geese or like
No,
silky
he's
geese.
wearing silky geese.
Yeah, yeah.
Geese. He wears, like, robes. He
Yeah.
wears, like, almost like a hybrid Asian, Middle Eastern kind of, a lot of, like, cheeseclothy
Yeah.
looking, like River Runs Dry, Boys to Men pants, but all black, jet black beard, do-rag, right? Because he's losing his hair.
Yeah.
The guy's clinging to everything. Sunglasses. Sunglasses are the biggest thing. If you want to know if somebody actually has like a problem with how they look or they're like narcissistic or whatever, look at how many people will continue to wear sunglasses in interviews and stuff. It's not because they think they're cool. It's because they're hiding the bags or the age under their eyes.
Yeah.
It's to hide drugs or your age.
It is a weird move when you do an interview indoors with sunglasses.
It's to hide your age because your eyes do not lie, dude.
But like, don't you think it's more weird
Yes.
than if someone saw your eyes
Yes.
and judged you because you were older?
30% of the
Like,
comedians
like-
we've had in here have done interviews with their sunglasses on, I bet. Maybe
Yeah.
lower, 20%.
Yeah,
But we've had guys that have come in here and just stayed in sunglasses, and I'm like, why are you doing that?
I think only a couple, like maybe a Wayne's
It
brother.
was a
or-
phase. It was a like a phase that it's less popular now, but it was a thing.
Yeah.
You still see it too. You still see certain people do it.
Or maybe because they're high and they don't want to have everybody see their red eyes.
Yeah, it's drugs, alcohol.
Which is weird because
puffiness.
you just like use some eye drops. Like you've been wearing the sunglasses.
I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway,
you got another one over there, or do we need to go?
I don't know what time we're
Oh,
going.
no.
We got to get out of here.
Yeah, we got to go.
see you tomorrow.
All right.
All right.
I'm in control now. That's funny, dude. That is
Thursday 2.
Thank you. And then Matt Mormon is now.
Yep.
Yeah, it should be. I could text him.
Yeah, he's fine. I've got Zoom up. I'm sure he's super prompt and awesome. So, excuse me. I would say that Tom Segura is more obsessed with Garth Brooks, but that's just me. Who would win in an old man fight between Chuck Norris and Steven Seagal? I would imagine Norris on that. Oh, yeah, Bobby Fingers. I'm a fan. Those dioramas are ridiculous, if that's who you're talking about. You get into like a bit of a wormhole with those where you... I gotta use the restroom before he calls. Oh, I like your chucks, man.
Thank you. The hell was that?
Oh, my God. Hey, man.
Hey, what's going on, dude?
Yo,
What's going on?
How's it
How
going?
you doing, man? Good to see you.
I'm at the LZ compound.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
watching all your videos. I'm very invested in what you're doing.
I'm an idiot, man. I should not be doing this.
I must
bro.
have watched the video of you bunny hopping a rake 5,000 times. That was my favorite video. I was like, hold on a second, that's not Matt. And then I'm like, where is he? And I'm like, what is he doing? Well, anyway, we can talk about that. But like,
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's gone nuts because it seemed so out of place for you. But it was
Oh
awesome.
yeah. It's
awesome.
way out of character. That's the whole point. It's my new outlook on life, you know.
I love it, dude.
All right, well,
It's
yeah, we'll
hilarious.
talk about it.
All right, here we go. Let me delete that. And Mr. Van, you want to begin?
Yeah.
Here we go. 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah, I had to cough real fast, but I made it. And Samantha, our producer's here. Hey, Sam.
Hi.
Yeah, become a member at the History Center. They constantly have new experiences.
Well,
that
that's the
they're
thing
building.
about history. We're building it right now.
Yeah. And becoming a member is the easiest way to experience
to date
everything.
with everything, yeah.
Yeah, they're always doing like little pop-ins, special things for holidays, good stuff for children and families.
Yep, it's the historycenter.org /members if you want to become a member. On Zoom with us right now, and before we started, he mentioned something that I would like to do as far as have a new, or, obtain a new perspective on life, or have some sort
Okay.
of, different way to look at it, because I only look at it one way. And
Okay.
it's all for nothing, it seems.
Okay, all right, all for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
In the
right.
grand scheme of
Okay.
things.
Great.
Yeah. And then I'm like,
So have you brought this next guest in to motivate yourself, to motivate the show, or?
I don't know. Usually he's more of a realist.
Yeah.
But anyway, so on the line with us on Zoom, Matt Mormon from Obsessed Garage. How you doing, Matt?
Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a while.
Yeah,
Been
I know.
man.
quite a while.
It's good to see you. I've been following along. I made some purchases. I upgraded my pressure washer based on a lot of your demos and the fact that you test just about everything you can get your hands on. And I appreciate you, man. So what's been going on? What have you been up to?
Oh man, it's been a wild ride. My first thing, we've talked about this in the past of OCD and struggles with that, and part of the reason why I haven't come and seen you guys is I haven't really been able to drive very much. and because I freak out when I'm driving down the road in all my fancy cars. And so I've lost about 35 pounds. I'm
Nice.
starting to get fit again, and figuring out how to maybe there's just a chemical deficiency, like a vitamin deficiency.
Yeah.
And so have you guys seen this guy Gary Brecka? Have you followed anything that he's come up with? He just
No.
started like posting on, it's called the Ultimate Human Podcast. And so Daniel, you and I have talked about OCD a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
So he's talked a lot about methylation.
Oh, is this the guy that drinks the some sort of water filtered with something?
Hydrogenated water.
Yeah. The hydrogen water guy. I see him on TikTok.
I want some hydrogen water. What does that
It's
do?
all about biohacking and stuff.
Yes. So nonsense or not, I feel like a completely different human. So I had a gene test done. I started having a supplement with SAM E and vitamin B12. And so I'm not having like panic anymore, which is pretty cool. I've lost, 30 pounds or so. And so that's changed my outlook on life. And part of the reason why I'm here at Adam LZ's compound is this new outlook on an energy that I seem to have from doing a little bit of biohacking. I'm cold plunging like a crazy person, like all the other dorks that are doing that.
Nice. No, that's cool. I want to do that.
I'm building a sauna. It's changed my whole darn life. I'm able to drive to the gym now and stuff. And so the OCD side of things, which has helped me so much in life, has also been such a difficult thing to deal with, has been in check. And so
I've been following Bam Margera and his life hacking. And it is funny to see you trying to beat your OCD, anxiety, and depression. Me, I just try to mask mine with copious amounts of alcohol and drugs. So there are different ways to handle this, but I think yours is far the more healthier and correct way to approach things.
So, Matt, I'm curious, like, you found yourself not even being able to drive because it got so bad, and like you would just have straight up panic attacks while driving?
So the root of my problem is that I pass out, right? Which is like the ultimate panic attack. And so I'm afraid of passing out. And so imagine you're in a $300,000 car at a stoplight, like, Daniel can relate to these.
I absolutely can.
Yeah, he passes out all the time, man. I laugh at it.
I don't know if you knew
Yeah,
this.
but now he's got a self-driving car.
Yeah,
It's fine.
like two months ago, I passed out in the bedroom. I smashed into the bedroom, just rolled over, and my dog's licking my face. Yeah, I get it.
It's called vasovagal syncope. So you have a vaso event. And so then I've developed this whole OCD, disaster around that possibility. And so that I'm in these fancy cars. You know what the wild thing is? Like certain roads, I can do like 150, no problem. It doesn't matter. But yet a stop sign at this one spot, like I'll be having a full meltdown, like full panic.
That's crazy, man. Yeah.
And so, but taking B12 and doing, so what I think it is, what Gary Brecka talks about and Andrew Huberman and all these biohacking guys are talking about is maybe you just have a darn genetic defect that you could supplement for and then do things like cold plunging and other crazy crap. And it's changed my whole darn life.
I love it, man. I mean, it's cool to hear you so inspired and like upbeat about this, because I know we've talked about anxiety in the past, and the tone is probably or main ideas is one of like what I typically have, which is like there's no hope and yada yada. But you sound really like,
well, because
to use your term, very dialed in.
Matt, you're very logical and pragmatic. Or as far as like you look at, you're like, all right, I'm having these events. It's my brain releasing the wrong chemicals, right?
Yeah.
Like essentially,
no different than any other manufacturing plant printing the wrong or creating the wrong thing.
Because like your brain releases these chemicals to try to help you in life, especially like if you're in a stressful or emergency situation, the fight or flight chemical, you need the adrenaline, you need, that,
right.
But you don't need it when you're sitting at a stoplight. And then it's firing the wrong at the wrong times, and so you're basically by doing these things. I'm sure it's like exercise mixed with like cold plunge. It's funny because I told Daniel like by putting your body in extreme temperatures or whatever, like extreme stress will help dial back your baseline stress. Is it something like that?
it's like an induced panic attack in control, right? Because as soon as you get in that cold water, it's 42 degrees. I'm like, I got to get out of here. And so, but I'm in control. And so then when I get out of there, I feel like I've knocked out some of that angst for the day, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you do it every morning?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do it. You're supposed to do it when you first wake up. I tried that. It made it 10 times worse for me. And so I do it after workout. So I usually work out at like 5 or 6 in the morning. I'm a big CrossFit guy.
Nice.
And so I'll go to CrossFit at 5 or 6, and I come back, and it helps me to go at 5 or 6 because no one's on the road. And so I'm driving at like 4:45 in the morning, trying to train my brain that, hey, because I know how to freaking drive, you know, I know how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty good at it, actually. And it's so frustrating to be so logical, like you said, Tom, and to not be able to just say, dude, you're like in Lady Lake, Florida at a stoplight. There's no one around. Like, just chill out.
Yeah.
So,
Well, but it's not. You can't control it.
Yeah. It's an irrational, weird thing. I mean, you've seen me when it's affecting me. Like, he's witnessed it when I'm like, can't do anything about this. It's just what's happening right now.
But I think for people that don't suffer from anxiety or panic attack, they want to attribute a reason, like, oh, it's like this because
it's like you got cancer because you were smoking. It's like it doesn't work like
that.
Yeah,
or it's like, oh, you're stressed out about your job, or you're like, stop. Like, this is making you stressed. It's like, no. Sometimes it's like your brain is just firing the wrong chemicals, and then you have to get that under control. And it makes sense, like the cold plunges, the exercise definitely makes sense.
The best.
It's to level everything out, so that
helps every time. Exercise
body
yesterday felt better. You know, it's like every time.
So I've been saying like all this time, like, I'll pay anything, I'll do anything, I'll go anywhere to like fix this. But yet the one thing that probably could is to get healthy, get fit, and find the right supplementation. If you have a chemical imbalance, and what I found, I think the biggest contributor is folic acid in all flour and rice and basically everything that we eat. And so I have a genetic mutation where I can't process folic acid, and yet I'm eating bread all the darn time.
Right.
And so I don't have any intolerance to it. Like, I don't have a gluten intolerance or anything. So I wasn't having any like physical issues, but I was having, mental, this unreality, if you will, is coming from a chemical imbalance, a vitamin D deficiency, or vitamin B12 deficiency, D deficiency, and just a genetic mutation that says, hey, I couldn't just take B12. I have to take a broken down B12. And so now when I'm sitting at a stoplight, I'm not having the reaction because my body isn't producing the wacky chemicals that's creating that panic, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So Daniel, you got to check it out, man.
Yeah,
Look at the Ultimate Human Podcast. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go so dark right off the beginning.
No, this is going to help a lot of people.
This is real. This is and the idea of being able to supplement it, but just in a way where your body's able to absorb the supplementation in the beginning.
Yes, yeah.
That happened in a weird way. This happened to the dog, to Dansby, my dog.
Oh.
Like he can't, when he eats like certain food, like he can't digest a certain protein. But if you buy the food where they've separated it and the protein is like it's like they're changing the molecular structure of it, you know? And when you feed him that, it's exactly the same thing, just not exactly the same thing.
Even like a multivitamin, like I can't take a regular multivitamin. I have to take a methylated multivitamin. Right.
Yeah.
And the only way to find that out is to do, now here's the big problem, is my big fear is anything medically related. And so I really need to do a blood draw to make sure that this B12 and stuff is actually working. But I'm definitely afraid of the blood draw. And so I have this problem. As soon as you get that needle out, I'm freaking out, dead. And what I'm hoping is that because I'm getting healthier and fitter, and I won't have that, like, what's the big deal? Pain doesn't bother me. It's some other ridiculous crap. And so I should be looking forward to the blood draw because I'm going to see how clean all my levels are.
Yeah.
Right. Yet, a normal rational person can go give blood. To me, it would be like the end of the world.
Yeah,
like, no freaking way. I can't do it. I'm definitely, it's like some people are afraid of spiders, or heights or whatever. It's like it'd be like if you had me hanging out over the Grand Canyon by like my belt loop or something.
Yeah.
Like
Is that bad?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's the worst. Yeah, when I'm a 6'2", 220 big dude, and like I'm deathly afraid, like a little girl, like scared. No offense.
Yeah, it happens, man.
So,
everybody's
like a
different.
small child scared to death of it.
Yeah.
So Matt, I'm curious because I've heard of these like extra tests that you could take to find out how your body absorbs different vitamins and like the different
you can get
foods
them specifically made for you, right?
What's the one you would recommend for someone if they wanted to learn basic like about their biology of their body within reason? Because you can get crazy Jeff Bezos about it.
Where sky's the limit.
Yeah, which
could throw $10 million on it.
Well, which Matt, you could afford more than the rest of us. But
I'll be down at the Walmart pharmacy.
But I know there's ones that are like 300 that'll give you a good basic outlook about that stuff.
The one that I found that's best that I just recently did was through Gary Brecka's brand called 10X. It's 10X Health Systems. It's $600. Most of the genetic tests are somewhere around $600 to $1,000. And then, but they're looking for these genetic markers, the markers of MTFHR, MTR, MTRR, COMT. So there's all these different genes that can contribute. They found that can contribute to this unreality or this OCD and ADHD and all these other different issues that are largely being caused by diet and then a lack of ability to process certain vitamins and minerals, and so I know it sounds real foo-foo, but I'm a freaking engineer. I'm looking at the math.
Yeah.
Right? The math is telling me that, dude, there's something off here. And the other thing I did is I went to a full carnivore diet. That's how I've lost the weight. And so I've eliminated folic acid and enriched flour and all that bull crap that messes you up. And so now what my dream is to drive my GT3 RS to the Tom and Dan studio someday and say, hey, I'm here.
Yeah. You got a goal, and the carnivore diet. Are you eating like you're not going as far as like Liver King, What's Up Primals, or you're eating like
no.
You're not eating
just pure meat,
you're
only
not eating
meat,
like pancreas of a bull and like the testicles.
No, not that far.
Okay.
So I generally eat a steak at night.
Nice.
And then I'll
because
try
you're a
to fast
patriot.
as long
You're a
as I
real
can.
man. Yeah. I feel like every man should end the night with a steak.
A steak every night?
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Isn't that?
I want to hug you. That is awesome.
Is your cholesterol through the roof? I can't eat a steak every night.
That's like 1970s nonsense. The whole,
Hold on,
Yeah,
I've lived my life by 1970s nonsense. That's my whole.
Didn't you see his mustache? He had the best 1970s mustache. So a steak. So what do you have for breakfast? Like tons of eggs?
Nothing.
Oh, you're fasting. Are you intermittent fasting?
Yeah, I generally fast. And so I'm about 16, 17 weeks in. So I was 250. I'm like 217, 218 now.
Wow, nice.
What day I wake up. So, but I was like 30% body fat. Now I'm like 15-ish, something like that. And so generally I'll wake up, I'll go to CrossFit, fasted, then I'll do the cold plunge. And then when you get out of the cold plunge, you have to live in the cold. Like you don't just go jump in a hot shower, because then your body burns a bunch of calories when it's trying to fight its way back up the temperature. So I do 3 minutes at 42 degrees. It's freaking brutal.
I bet.
It sucks. And then I'll have like a protein shake and a bunch of supplements I'm talking about, like B12 and vitamin D. And then I just hang on as long as I can, try not to eat. If I can make it to dinner, great. If I get to lunch, I would usually have some like hard-boiled eggs or something like that. And then at dinner, I'll make a Snake River Farms, like legit, like awesome steak, And
that sounds so good.
It sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of organizing, right? And prepping.
And a lot of uncomfortable behavior.
And we haven't even gotten
cold,
into
starving.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten to what he's doing at Adam LZ's house. Like he's not even at his compound. He's at a whole separate compound right now.
And we're going to talk about that, Matt. But just to go back to what you've been talking about, I feel like a lot of people compare this to like some weirdo BS holistic or like you know something.
Some people connect this to like Heaven's Gate, like
No,
you're as
no.
crazy as a person that wants to go live with
Well,
the aliens.
because people like they hear all this and they're like, oh, it's mumbo jumbo, like the holistic medicine and all this. And you're like, no, this is closer to chemistry and biochemistry than it is to anything, you know, magic.
Spirits.
Yeah, like this is just like learning your body chemistry and then you know figuring out how to hack your body chemistry and going like. Guess what? We evolved to be starving sometimes because that's what humans had to live starving for parts of their life. And then like, so mimicking that makes sense to me and makes sense to how evolution works and your human body. The problem is that we live in a society that we have to force ourselves to be uncomfortable to be able to have this healthy life. And that's hard.
That's what Gary Brecka talks about is like, we've pursued comfort. Right. Life is the pursuit of comforts. And then you end up, you know, then before you know it, you're 60 years old sitting in your chair and you never get out of it, you know, and you have Uber Eats come to your house and you're just living comfortable all the time. And, you know, that becomes problematic. And then you start to develop all these irrational fears and problems and stuff out of nothing instead of doing some hard stuff like getting in frickin' cold water, which seems like nonsense. You know, I'm with you, the nonsense of it, but shoot, I'd rub some snake oil on my nostrils if they said it was going to make me not have a panic attack on the stop, you know, in Lady Lake, you know, I'd do anything, but I really didn't do anything. Now this is probably the thing that could fix it.
I love it.
I'm shouting from the darn treetops because Obsessed Garage is called Obsessed because of this. Right. My life, my business, all of the success, all of the good in my life has come from this negative thing, this negative disaster that's my brain, and then figuring out, well, can I retain that, still retain the good, but get rid of the ridiculous.
Well, Tom says nobody can change, so all of this for nothing.
Well, it would be bad. Like, what if we check in a month and he's doing non-motivated garage, and we go over there, he's like, I don't want to do a video. I don't care
my brain's
anymore.
fixed.
Everybody ship out the stuff. I don't care about the different pressure washers.
But Sam, nobody can change, and Matt's never going to change, but he's just, you know.
He can maintain it, though. He can change.
Well,
like,
he's figuring out how, like, because, like, if he stopped doing all this, it'd go back to panic attack crazy.
Right, that's not good.
Because your brain, his brain's the same. He's just learning how to treat this.
Right.
And then live with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what everybody's like, all right, whatever you have to learn how to live with it the most efficiently.
We've been telling you that, but then you claim that we're screaming at you to change who you are. So, I mean,
Well, it's hard
you gotta
to
pick
change,
one or
Sam.
the other. God damn it.
Well, you got to do all this. You got to cold and then not eat.
The answer is it's very difficult.
The steak at night is pretty sweet.
I never said it was easy.
I would like a steak at night.
But I want to.
That's the best. That sounds like the best
River
part.
Farms is good as hell.
Well, it's steak and alcohol, and I don't want to.
You don't drink
Oh,
anymore,
steak and
right?
ale's coming back.
You don't drink.
I've never drank.
You never drank. Yeah. I mean, so like.
Well, that's why the poison is not good. You know.
I wouldn't be able to handle it, man. I'd be alcohol crazy. You know.
Yeah, it's not. No, it doesn't help.
Somewhere for sure.
It doesn't help. It's a good mask for only about 25 minutes.
And also, Matt, as you age, it gets worse too, right? It's like your OCD and stuff. I mean, with everything, it's like you know.
Yep.
And then so you have to try to work at it harder as you age.
What's the hardest part, exercise or diet, would you say?
Oh, diet for me, 100%. Yeah. I just want to eat because I love all the C's, you know, cookie, cake, candy.
I'm a cookie
The more
guy.
processed, the better. I don't want some homemade pie. I want like Little Debbie's, you know. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Processed sugar,
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
man. It's
right
like
in the
crack.
veins.
So, Matt, real quick, just to talk about what you're doing currently with Obsessed Garage.
Oh, yeah. Go follow him. It's really fun.
By the way, I went on your website, like, let's see what Matt's selling here. And then I was like, outdoor kitchens. You're having
dude, not
so
the
much
best outdoor kitchen.
Yeah. No, I mean, you've branched off from just garage to lifestyle.
It's like a home brand now.
Yeah. And so let's talk about it. Like,
So to me, the garage is the anchor, right? That's the anchor of the obsession. The cars go in it, the toolboxes go in it, the lighting, you need lighting, flooring, pressure washer, all that stuff happens in the garage. That's the anchor. And when I come to my house, like Tom doesn't, but most people, you drive into the garage, right? So you
That's some shade.
Man, no, that was not shade. You don't know Matt. Matt doesn't throw shade. That was just
open
honesty.
the garage.
Unintentional
and-
D.
He's honest.
I hear it. I'm like, you are speaking the truth.
When Tom opens the garage, stuff pours, spills.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
falls
God.
out.
Like
And the smell of
Think of the panic attack that Matt would have if he went
we
inside of
wanted
Tom's
to do that.
garage.
That was the goal, but like obviously it's hard to get Matt here. But I want him to. There's nothing like when that thing goes up and it's loud. It
smells like gas,
and
crazy.
It smells like old gas, just right in the face.
Yeah, the thing is, my brain works fine. I don't panic about anything. And I'm just saying, I don't panic
I
about
think
anything.
a lot of people would argue with that.
I'm never nervous. Just walk around.
Just walk around.
Yeah, like no big deal. Anyway,
So you enter the house. I enter the house in my garage. I park in the garage. I exit the house in the garage, but I don't get to like take the obsession out of my pocket and like put it in the drawer and then enter into my house. Like, so to me, the house is attached to the garage, and I'm obsessed with, kitchen drawer organization, faucets, home theater, lighting, tile. I'm obsessed with all this other crap too. And I find it very frustrating. I bought a darn outdoor kitchen in my last house. I spent $1 zillion on it, and it was a nightmare. And people didn't know squat about it. I'm teaching them about how to install it and having to fix all this stuff. And I'm like, why wouldn't
Tom had the same experience, by the way. Didn't you? You had exactly the same experience.
Well, a little bit different.
Okay.
I didn't really go.
Well, anyway, I bought that house, and remember, Tom, I was telling you about the house I bought in the mountains. And
Yeah.
we made that we call it Destination Obsessed Garage. And so the garage is all outfitted, and people can borrow the house for money. We don't call it rent. Rent implies you're entitled to something, but you're borrowing my house and you pay for it. And so you go into the house, and the garage is all outfitted with all the cool stuff. And then the house is all set up with all the other stuff. And I found that I'm making all these videos and all this cool stuff that you can't buy anywhere. So why don't I freaking sell it? And so that's where the whole destination concept came in. And then my good friend, Adam LZ, who lives in Orlando here, and Adam has like 4 million followers, and he somehow talked me into, hey, I've got this house at the compound. I'm finding myself staying in this house all the time. Would you come in and do your thing? And so now somehow I've become a general contractor, and we're doing like an A/B transformation of think like mid-90s 80-year-old guy designed the house with like all Aztec theme, like weird, like Southwestern old man style.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Turquoise.
turning it into a New York loft.
Okay.
With like concrete and like Euro high gloss black cabinets and like amazing audio and video and all this stuff.
Porn director. Yeah. Like put a soapy butt in there.
What's the budget he gave you, Matt? Because I can imagine you want to only use the best of the best.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you might bankrupt me with one chair.
Every light is $125. A tiny.
No, every light is like $195, I think.
Oh, okay.
$195.
I thought I was going high.
Yeah.
I was like,
you don't even know what high it is.
I thought the
You're
most
like,
expensive.
what'd you tell me? $70?
I thought the most expensive light was $125.
Yeah, that's for a 4-inch can from DMF, they're like $195.
Okay.
Piece. And we need like 80 of them or something.
Oh my God!
Holy wow!
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
there's like 15 in the house or something like that.
But
yeah, well, the original budget was $200,000, and I think we'll probably end up being somewhere in the mid threes. But remember, I'm buying everything at wholesale. I'm getting everything either at cost or some stuff, sponsored to some extent.
Sure.
And I'm doing the work. Like I'm carrying toilets out, and there's poo juice.
I saw that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's a poo juice video that's very good. The poo juice video is doing great, by the way.
Matt,
Hire somebody for the poo juice.
No, Matt does his own poo juice.
Yeah, there are people.
No.
Have you ever gone to Home Depot?
Yeah, but
or
he's
on
obsessed.
Colonial?
He's obsessed, and when you're obsessed with even poo juice.
No, but if they get some laborers to handle the poo
They'll
juice.
do it wrong.
Yeah. That's it. Daniel nailed it.
I know this guy. I speak full Matt. Like I know. Like then he's gonna go in there, and then he hired a guy, and then he's gonna be like, "Oh my God, this is all wrong." Then he has a panic attack.
So I hired probably the best tilers in Orlando, which is Britannia Flooring. They're doing the flooring for me. Sorry to your.
No, you're
foreign-
fine. You're fine.
If you have any of them.
We know what we are.
Yeah, I mean, there's some Italian guy.
He says a Fatima
Like you can't.
I'm a chisel this of myself.
Yeah. You're doing
Gino Salino.
some sort of high-end, super fancy
He's
thing.
painting the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah. And then I hired painters, and then I hired Eastside Kitchen and Baths to do the cabinet install. But all the rest, Mike. So Mike is works for me.
Yeah.
But he's a good friend. I hired him. He moved from California. And so he's like, he can do all the trades, electrical, plumbing, drywall. He can do all the stuff. So I dream it. He does it. And then his son, Trevor, is his assistant. And so me, Mike, and Trevor are basically doing the whole house from start to finish.
That's awesome.
In 45 days is the goal. So we're living in, they call him, it's not called an RV, it's called a coach. So I'm staying in a Prevost trailer. Mike has one and I have one. And so I'm living in the swamp here where, the Adam LZ compound out here in East Orlando area. And we're staying here for roughly 2 months doing a project that would probably take, 6 or 8 months for it. We figured it'd probably be about $400 a square foot to do this if you'd hired a contractor. So about $1 million we're probably doing for mid threes, something like that.
Matt,
It's good savings.
how did you end up building a business where all you're doing is stuff that you like to do? Because me and Daniel,
we did that, but then we lost our passion somewhere along the way.
We looked around at the radio station. We're like, we hate this place. We're going to do it on our
Let's
own.
do exactly the same thing.
And then we built a business where we're doing the same thing. We hate.
He said we have no bosses.
Well, you're not making as much money as Matt.
I know.
That's the
Yeah,
problem.
we have no bosses. We're looking around.
We're making essentially the same money doing
less.
the same
Working
thing.
more than we ever have.
Yeah, no, we're making a little bit more, but
little bit
not
more.
that much.
Not that.
Yeah.
Not
More
enough to
stress.
justify the work. I'll tell you that.
And the work is the same.
Yeah.
I'm doing the
And
same
I'm
thing.
having a panic attack right
Right
now.
now.
I feel like I'm at a stop sign right now.
Yeah, well, I've spent years building the infrastructure of when I first came and met you guys, I'd been listening to you guys for a decade plus, and I was in wealth management, right? I was at Merrill Lynch.
They've got to be wealthy. Oops.
And then they fired me. Remember, I got fired from there for making vlogs, and then I decided to go all in on this. And then from the beginning, I've had a business coach to help me understand, because I'm good at the numbers, but I'm bad with the people.
And we're uncoachable. Like we told people. People are like, they're like, get a business coach. We're like, we know.
Yeah, we're the Antonio Brown
Yeah,
of
yeah.
podcast.
Every time somebody gives me a good idea, I rip my shirt off.
They walk out.
And so now I built a leadership team so I can leave for 2 months and do a project like this. And they're running, the business is still running. We had, Black Friday, we sold millions of dollars of stuff, and I don't have to pack it or ship it, so I've got amazing people that I've hired that really, most of them were followers, either family, friends, or followers, people that follow me on YouTube. And what I'd be doing is washing my car saying, hey, I'm looking for this person to do this kind of job. And I'd get 50 applications, and then I'd choose them, and then they'd move across the country. And so now I think we have like 40 people, something like that now.
Wow.
That run the operation, so that I can go and grow the audience by, collaborating with a friend of mine who has a much bigger following, and then do a crazy project. Like, wait till you see the transformation of this place is going to be insane. And then using my talent, which is to aggregate all these crazy high-end products, put them together where they all work and fit. And then hopefully teach people what's possible.
So what you're saying is I probably should step away from the day-to-day editing and even switching my own cameras here and have somebody do it. And Tom should step away from the business aspect and build a team to do that. And then
write down leadership team.
Write down leadership team. I like it too.
Well,
we could get some fat slobs and then we just say, hey, you're going to be on the leadership
team. Do you have to pay them? Because we have no money to pay them. They can do,
what do we
intern leadership team?
How do we compensate our leadership team?
Well, they work for T-shirts.
Yeah,
and,
what are they?
Can we get them on the show? They just work
interns,
for fame,
right?
or...
Interns for fame.
Well, you got to figure out a way to think about, if you're the expert, you're the, you have to promote yourself.
Are these
right?
all women that you've hired?
Oh, yeah, leadership women
You
team.
have all women, right? Like all hot ladies. It's the leadership team.
Yeah, no.
Okay, take a cold plunge. I tell my wife, I was like, hey, I'm doing a cold plunge with the leadership team.
Well, Matt, I want to talk to you again, and we'll do because we got kind of carried away with everything you've been up to, and like changing your life and everything. I want to
Change your life.
Can we talk to you next week just about some products that people can buy?
He's only got 50 days to do this.
Yeah, he's working, man.
Oh no, you can take a break.
He never takes breaks. He's like Arnold
20-minute break.
Schwarzenegger.
I want to talk to you about like the different products people could buy for Christmas if they're into detailing and stuff. Because we didn't even get a chance to go over all that stuff, and we got another interview. So
I'm free. I just work late, Tom. I'll just
I mean, you can
Leave him alone, Tom.
I'll schedule it so you have 20 minutes. You jump back on.
I'm fine. I literally am living in a darn RV right next to the house, so I'm free. I'm good.
All right, Matt. Well, it's obsessedgarage.com for everything Obsessed Garage. Also, follow his YouTube channel for everything that Matt's been doing.
And follow Adam LZ as well. We love those guys. They're always I've been following this along, and I think this is one of the funniest and best things you've done. I really enjoy it. It's cool.
You're going to teach me how to drift.
Okay.
And that's the next thing.
Yeah,
so
like he walks through the garage and he shows you all the cars and which one he's going to do like a wash and talk and stuff like that. Yeah, go check it out. You guys will dig it.
Well, Matt, we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, and we'll hit you up next week and we'll talk some products.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
See you, man.
Always good.
Take care, man. That is Matt Mormon live from Adam LZ's house.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back with more corporate time.
Cool.
Do you want to do 7 with the chef, or do you want to put her?
Well, we have to put her.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we do. We could move Matt.
No, you can do 10. You can do 10 to 12 because
I think we could do 10.
It'll be easier actually. I think. Where's that go?
That is Friday 1.
Yeah, sorry, we went too long.
No, you're good. I'm just trying to do this quickly so I don't miss her.
And where's Four Flamingos at? Is it near iDrive?
I don't know the exact address, but I've been there.
It's at the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress Resort.
Okay.
Okay, let me get us back on Zoom. New meeting. Come on, baby. There we go. Back there. How do you say her last name? We should probably ask it, right?
People pronounce it Ricchio.
They did. That's the only one I could find.
But it seems like it's
Tucker Ricchio?
Ricchio.
We'll ask.
Hey, how's it going?
Can you see us?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, thanks so much for the time. We really do appreciate it. Sorry about being a little bit late. We had a Zoom call on, so I was trying to finagle connecting you, but we got it worked out. So, hey, thank you so much for the time. We don't want to mess up your last name. We've heard Ricchio and Ricchio.
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 All right. Great.
Yeah, perfect.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for the time, and we'll get going right now.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, man,
no problem.
anytime. That's one of my favorite restaurants. All right, here we go. Mr. Van, would you like to start?
Yep.
In 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. On Zoom with us right now, and she's going to be at Four Flamingos at the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress Resort.
Yeah, man.
December 1st through the 4th. If you want to see her, it's Chef Tucker Ricchio.
You did it.
Ricchio.
Yeah,
Ricchio. Sorry. How you doing, Chef Tucker?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good. Hey, how did just to talk to my guys for a split second? How did we end up getting a relationship with Four Flamingos? Because it is. We've talked about a lot of chefs. We've talked about Richard Blaze. Obviously, we've talked about Four Flamingos on the show. We've never had more people reach out.
Oh, yeah.
We've never had more of our friends pick our brains about I guess celebrity chefs, and now we get to talk to another one. First of all, thanks for being on the show, but how did you get involved in cooking? Because I thought you were supposed to be a nurse.
I was definitely supposed to be a nurse. I had signed up for nursing school and everything, but I was actually just sitting on the couch watching food shows, cooking shows, documentaries, and I saw Dominique Cren's episode on Chef's Table come out. And I was truly just so inspired by what she was doing at her 3 Michelin star restaurant. You know, she's the first female chef in America to get 3 Michelin stars. And I just thought that was so badass that I wanted to be a part of that too. So I immediately told nursing school that I was not coming, and I signed up for culinary school instead.
And it's crazy too because it doesn't seem like that was that long ago, and that's what I was talking to our producer Sam about. Like, it seems like you obviously have natural talent because meteoric kind of rise, right? I mean, you're right there in the mix of everybody right now.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, it was. I mean, I went to culinary school back in 2014, so it's been just about 10 years now cooking in the professional world. But I've been cooking since I was a kid. I come from an immigrant family, Italian and Portuguese, and so food was always kind of the center point of all gatherings and holidays and whatnot. So food's been always near and dear to my heart. Now I just have a chance to take it pro and share it with a lot more people.
Yeah.
I'm curious about something because me and my wife have been watching the show The Bear. So essentially, I know.
Man, I have to be careful with that show. As an anxiety man, that show run you up the wall.
But so from watching season 1, I essentially know everything there is to know about being a chef now.
So you basically could be a chef.
You could call me chef if you want at this
Chef
point,
Tom.
because I watched The Bear. Anyway, but from watching that show, I'm like, I do not want to do this job.
Oh,
like,
it's high stress.
This is not for me at all.
Hard.
And in fact, this is a job that I'd be terrified to do because of the environment, the high stress, the working conditions, everything about it. So then it told me, I was like, well, who wants to do this job? And also, what kind of personalities do you see, Chef Tucker, that want to be a chef?
That's a fantastic question, because what you're seeing in these shows like The Bear, which are really highlighting a lot of the things that a lot of food shows gloss over, right? A lot of these food shows make it seem like a very glamorous lifestyle to be in. It's very rock and roll, right? It's a little piratey.
Yeah.
It was part of the thing that hooked me into being a chef. I was like, well, that lifestyle's kind of cool, But when it gets down to, brass taxes, it's a lot of stress. Absolutely. It is a very high stress work environment. It's a very intense work environment. Things are not always, HR approved in these kind of environments. And so you get a lot of very strong personalities. You get a lot of interesting characters, a lot of just very high intensity people. So if you saw on the show, on my season, the number of professional chefs, there was like Chris, there was myself, there was Pilar, there was Nuri. So a lot of professional chefs. We all just have that kind of intense factor about us.
So because of that, though, it seems like now you've got a bunch of intense people in a stressful environment.
Right.
Fast-paced,
Which
it's not always a good recipe, man. You might get some heads.
Yeah, like how many fights? And then also, does everybody have like a pre-meeting where like, all right, we're going to be yelling at each other, but everything that happens when we're on the clock, like don't.
It's like
don't
we're on stage, so we leave it here.
Yeah,
or
we
something
just
like, how do you deal with that?
That's exactly like how it is. So any problems you have in the restaurant, if service went badly, if you screwed something up, if you and the wine cook next to you have a problem, it kind of ends at service, which is kind of the nice thing about that environment. Any problems you have, you kind of leave it at work and then you can leave. Any problems that you have between coworkers, any of those intense moments that might have blown up a little bit during service, you kind of put that to rest and then, go about your day. It kind of stays contained in the restaurant, which is nice, but you're absolutely correct. Some situations can get a little bit dicey in there when all this intensity is packed into a small kitchen.
What's the hardest part for you? Like when you come to places like Orlando, and we're obviously so lucky to have you here, and special dishes that you can only get because you're going to be there. Do you get to just go crazy and use every ounce of creativity you have to do anything you want? Do you try to find whatever's the most fresh, or you try to tie it into a holiday? Like, how do you go about the creative aspect of coming to the restaurant and presenting something new for us?
Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great question. So, every time I go off to a new restaurant, I try to think about, seasonality. What's fresh right now? What's in season? What do I not have to search very hard for? What do I not have to bring in from really far away? What do I have that's local? What can I highlight and celebrate that's local to this particular location that I'm at? And so that's really important to me. I definitely want to highlight any produce or proteins that come from this area.
Yeah.
I'm also really fortunate to work with Chef Shelby, who is an absolute badass, and she lets me have a lot of creativity. She says she just wants me to be able to highlight myself. And so, she's been really awesome in letting me just kind of do my own thing. So highlighting seasonality, definitely, I don't want to make it too busy for the guys on the line either. I definitely don't want to be like, oh, well, everything comes off of this one station. So you want to kind of spread the workload out among the cooks out there. And, a little bit of just fun. What am I doing recently that's kind of cool? Any new interesting techniques that I found, anything like that, want to incorporate that and just, share that, like I said, with people.
You did a stuffed avocado that looks just that thing. Come on now, man.
Thank you. I mean, I saw what Chef Blaze and Chef Shelby had done with that avocado that they did out there. And I was like, you know what? I could make my own Chef Tuck twist on this and serve that at my tasting menu dinners. And I did something like that.
Can you eat a flamingo?
That's a great question. That's a great question.
All right.
We saved
Thank
this
you,
to the
Daniel.
end. We saved
Thank
this to the
you.
end. Somebody has to defend my partner. That's a great question.
I think you asked Richard Blaze the same question.
Yeah, we're obsessed with eating a flamingo. Ever since we started our relationship with 4 Flamingos, I've been there. It's phenomenal.
I mean, it's a big bird, right? I mean,
well, not a lot of meat on the legs, but I feel like that.
Yeah. I mean, your flamingo breast
center area.
There's got to be some country, like in Brazil, they eat flamingos, right? Like
somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, in fact, I have more respect for the nations that go snoot to tail. Like we have a lot of waste in America, but if you consume it, like, look, what's that? Oh, I'm using the flamingo beak as a spoon. It's like, that's great. You're reusing things. It's like, upcycling. Well, hey.
Exactly. You got to use every part of the animal.
Well, speaking of that, what's the oddest thing that you've had to cook that you weren't familiar with as far as like a protein or something that you just more exotic?
Let's see. So when I was working in Michelin restaurants, I was a butcher for a couple of years there, and I had never really worked with a lot of Michelin proteins, which is to say some of the more interesting cuts that you might not see at your everyday restaurants. And so I was to prepare frog legs one day, and I had never tried frog legs. I'd never really seen frog legs. And the chef was like, all right, frog legs are on the menu. And I was like, what in the hell am I supposed to do with these?
It sounds...
In Florida, it's a thing. Like, it's funny because you said that, and I'm like, not that crazy. Because we are swamp trash.
Yeah, my dad used to go frog gigging off his airboat in the night, and you go and you have a long stick with 3 spikes at the end.
It's
with
a tiny trident.
Yeah, with a tiny trident, and you go and you stab frogs in the Everglades,
Man,
and then you put them in a garbage bag.
It's embarrassing for us to tell Chef Tucker that we come from swamp trash, and that, like, I think I had my first frog leg when I was 8 at a fish camp.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The old frog gigging.
Florida swamp trash down here.
Yeah. So that's why we're so blessed when we get a real, city chef comes and cooks us up some good vittles.
Well, again...
See, that's so funny because in California, you don't really see that at all. You don't really see frog legs on a lot of menus. And so it's really cool to be able to dive into some of those things, and like the same idea. You guys probably dive into alligator a little bit more.
Oh, yeah. Gator bites.
Yeah, don't really have that over here.
Yeah, it's all gator bites down here.
Yeah.
It all tastes like chicken, by the way.
Also, a lot of our scallops are just stingrays that have just been punched out. It's horrifying. Oh, it's terrible. Absolutely.
So to get a reservation, go check her out this weekend, 4flamingos.orlando.com/events.
Yeah, you will not be disappointed. It's one of the greatest restaurants I've been to. You'll love it, and especially if you love Florida cuisine. And 4 Flamingos treats us right. Go there and check out this super special event. Hey, thank you so much for the time talking with us, and we hope to get to do it again sometime soon.
Thank you guys so much. Take care.
All right,
Chef
you
Tucker.
too. Be good. That was really cool, man. It's always great when we get to chat with the different guest chefs and people that are popping into town.
I'm definitely going to teach my kids, like, just find what you're passionate about and into, and then try to work hard towards that. Because if you're not passionate about...
That's what Matthew Lillard said.
Well, I didn't want to...
Or, like, if you're not into cooking, like this is something so far away from what could even... contemplate doing that I'd never be good at it, never even want to try it.
I wish I had learned to cook younger. Because now I really do enjoy cooking.
I love cooking.
And I'm learning through all the meal kits and stuff.
Cooking, I love cooking, and I'd be interested to see if Matt Mormon likes cooking, because there's something about cooking.
Likes cooking them steaks every night.
Yeah, well, it calms me down because of the steps. It's almost like a grounding technique. It's like step
you can
1,
just check things off.
Get the pan. Step 2, put in oil. Step 3, put pork chop, whatever. And it's like a grounding technique for my anxiety, and it calms me down. But Maisie loves it too. In fact, I got a story I'll tell on the Friday Free Show. Maisie's like crazy about cooking her own stuff now.
Yeah,
That's her
you know,
thing.
it's just like you and Andrea,
Yeah.
like following steps and directions.
She-
you know,
yeah,
like-
it's in there, and
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
gonna do it. I
Yeah.
mean, but anyway, we gotta take a break.
All right. I hate steps, by the way. We'll see you next week.
All right, nice.
Cool.
She's very nice.
She was
Yeah.
nice.
I'm glad that it was only 10 because the
Yeah.
audio was
Yeah.
bad.
It's always.
We did the best we could.
We did the best we could.
All right, quick lunch, and then we'll be back with Tuttle.
Yep.
Oh my God.
We can talk to him about Mr. Beast being buried.
All right, guys. Have a great